Good morning. Today is Tuesday, December 28th, and we're bringing you the latest news making your morning headlines to start your day. Breaking right now, police incoming are searching for a mother and her 6-year-old daughter. Investigators say the father may have taken them both against their will. Let's get straight out to our Tori Cooper, who is incoming with the very latest. She starts off our coverage in today's Morning News Rewind.
Yeah, Trace, and many of our viewers likely got that late night Amber Alert shortly before 1 a.m. That's when coming police tell us that they sounded the alarm on the search efforts for the mother-daughter pair. The search continues for a mother and her daughter this morning. This is a picture of 6-year-old Rachel Zacina. She has black hair, brown eyes, and she's Hispanic. And this is a picture of her mother, Balavanera Esperanza Parada Olivias. She's 45 years old, and she also has dark brown hair and brown eyes. Coming police say they believe the man you see right here, Alexis Zacina Lopez, took Rachel and her mother Balavanera against their will in his black 2016 Ford Focus after a domestic dispute. Lopez is 55 years old and 5'8" in height, and he's also Rachel's father. But the last time Rachel or her mother were seen was the day after Christmas. Now, coming police tell us they believe that Lopez is likely armed. They also say that his plate number on his Ford Focus is RVX 9470. Of course, if you have any information pertaining to the whereabouts of either of them, make sure that you contact coming police as soon as possible. We will also be working with them to try to find out where they're at in the search this morning. Reporting live and coming, I'm Tori Cooper, CBS 46 News.
Thanks so much, Tori. Now, the number of patients infected with COVID in Georgia hospitals is rising rapidly. The number of patients hospitalized statewide with the virus has climbed by more than 50% in just the past week. The Atlanta area is experiencing the most infections and hospitalizations. And health experts say it's a perfect storm, the highly transmissible Omicron variant in the midst of the busy holiday season. More kids across the U.S. are getting COVID-19 now, and Britt Conway reports children's hospitals are bracing for it to get even worse.
On the heels of holiday celebrations, heading into the new year, Omicron is spreading. Cases are rising, and now more kids are getting hospitalized with COVID-19. And we're closing in on the record high for pediatric hospitalizations set in September. In Houston, children's hospitals say they're getting ready for more kids with COVID to fill up beds there. With one pediatrician saying, "I think we are going to see more numbers now than we have ever seen." An attending physician and infectious disease specialist at Ann and Robert H. Lurie Children's Hospital in Chicago says case numbers there are 3 times as high as the hospital's previous peak last December. In Cleveland, the director of pediatric infection control at Rainbow Babies and Children's Hospital says effective monoclonal antibodies, a life-saving treatment, is in short supply. State data shows New York City pediatric hospitalizations increased 5-fold over a 3-week period. And in D.C., the infectious disease chief at Children's National Hospital says close to half of the COVID-19 tests that they're doing are coming back positive. But it's not just these cities. Nationwide, on average, pediatric hospitalizations are up 35% in just the past week. Hospitals are bracing for a busy January as health experts continue their vaccination plea.
All done.
Britt Conway, CBS 46 News.
Right now, New York and at least 4 other states are now reporting more daily COVID cases than at any other point in this pandemic. Last week, new COVID cases rose more than 300% in Florida compared to a week ago. And in Louisiana, Omicron has doubled hospitalizations in a week. 80% of those patients unvaccinated. That's one of the reasons why President Biden wants to use FEMA funds for COVID testing. The new order directs the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services to use the funding to create and run testing sites in coordination with state and local public health departments. The White House says the goal is to fight and respond to the pandemic with the full capability of the federal government. Now at 6:30, we're keeping an eye on today with the stories you need to know. A death investigation is happening right now after 2 men were found dead in northwest Atlanta. Police found the men behind an abandoned home on Pelham Street. Investigators have not released their identities, but we do know both men were in their late 30s and no foul play is suspected. A Colorado judge is scheduled a January 13th hearing to consider a request to reduce the 110-year prison sentence for a truck driver involved in a deadly crash near Denver. The driver said his brakes failed in 2019 in the collision that killed 4 people. The sentence has sparked outrage, with millions signing an online petition seeking clemency. A woman accused of shooting 4 people at an Alpharetta apartment complex on Christmas Eve is behind bars this morning. Stephanie A.G. is charged with aggravated assault and murder. The shooting happened last week at the Manziel apartment homes. 1 person died. The 3 other victims are expected to recover. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention released new data on the nation's vaccination effort. 66 million people have gotten a booster shot. That's nearly a third of fully vaccinated people. Nearly 62% of the U.S. population is fully vaccinated. And currently, more than 1 million doses of vaccine are being given out every day. No winning tickets were sold in Monday night's Powerball lottery, so that jackpot now stands at $441 million. With no winners declared since October 4th, the prize has continued to roll over. The odds of winning a jackpot are pretty good. I mean, they are 1 in 292 million, so there's a chance. Powerball data shows the grand prize has been won 7 times a year since 2016. The next drawing is tomorrow night. The Los Angeles Police Department has released 911 calls and officer body cam video after officers shot and killed a suspect and a 14-year-old girl at a North Hollywood Burlington coat factory 2 days before Christmas. We want to warn you that some of what you're about to see may be disturbing. Courtney Keeley has this report.
Hey, she's bleeding! She's bleeding!
Police body camera footage shows LAPD officers responding to calls of an assault and a possible shooting in progress at this North Hollywood Burlington department store. Surveillance footage shows 24-year-old Daniel Elena Lopez beating a woman with a bicycle lock.
Ma'am, he's breaking things. He's breaking things. Ma'am, hello. I need you to listen to me so I can send some help.
Among the 911 calls from witnesses and employees, one said the man appeared to have a firearm.
It's just shots.
As officers approach, one fires at Lopez, killing him. But one of the shots hits a wall behind Lopez, striking and killing 14-year-old Valentina Orellana Peralta. She was in a dressing room on the other side of that wall with her mother.
There are no words that can describe the depth of the sorrow we feel for this tragic outcome.
Police officers recovered that metal bicycle lock, but no gun was found, raising questions about the police response.
There are so many other options to de-escalate community violence, and a deadly weapon does not have to be one of them.
LAPD Police Chief Michael Moore told our CBS affiliate, KCBS, that the use of deadly force is always the last resort. Courtney Keeley, CBS News.
The officer who fired the deadly shot has been placed on paid administrative leave. The family of the 14-year-old victim has hired Benjamin Crump, a high-profile attorney who has sued police in excessive force cases nationwide and also represented the family of George Floyd. President Biden has signed the annual defense funding bill into law. This year, it authorizes $770 billion for the Defense Department. The measure includes changes to the military justice system to revamp how the military deals with sexual assault, a nearly 3% pay raise for military service members, a commission to examine the war in Afghanistan after the U.S. withdrawal, and $300 million in military aid to Ukraine. Right now, a Fairburn homeowner has a big problem. I'm talking about a sinkhole. You see it there. It's recently appeared up in his front yard on Springbox Drive. He says he has the utility. They've come out, the utility company, and inspected the problem, but they told him that he didn't have any water leaks. Now the hole is only getting bigger, and he hopes that the Homeowners Association will help him out.
This thing is getting bigger and bigger, and when the rain comes in, the dirt falls in it and makes a big mess. I'm thinking that when they built the house, there could have been a hole under there that they sloppily covered, and now as time goes by, it starts sinking, but nobody wants to take ownership of it. Right. Nobody wants to say, well, I think it's us, I think it's me, I'm going to come and take care of it.
Down the street, another homeowner says she's having a similar problem with multiple sinkholes opening up in her yard. Now to a consumer alert, it is the thought that counts, right? But some holiday gifts still fall short of expectations. If you're looking to return presents that simply missed the mark, there are a few things you should know. E-commerce giant Amazon provides labels for mail-in returns or accepts items at 18,000 drop-off locations. Many large chains like Macy's, Home Depot, Target, and Bed Bath & Beyond have a 90-day return policy for most items. Experts say this year retailers took into account widespread shipping delays.
Most stores are going to offer more generous return guidelines for holiday purchases because of the challenges that the consumer has had in terms of getting their purchases delivered on time.
To make returns as smooth as possible, keep the original packaging intact, especially for electronics. According to the Consumer Reports, Apple and Best Buy had the most stringent return policies. Hold on to gift receipts, or you may be stuck with the lowest sales price for the item. Check return policies and time limits and bring your ID.
Wakanda Forever!
That's right, Wakanda Forever. The online ticket selling portal Fandango asked thousands of ticket buyers which franchise films they were most looking forward to next year, and it turns out many of them are in the mood for Marvel. Black Panther Wakanda Forever, which was filmed right here in Metro Atlanta, topped the list, followed by Part 1 of Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Welcome back. Colorado police say 4 people were killed and at least 3 others were injured, including an officer in a multi-city shooting spree. It began in Denver and then moved into Lakewood. There was a shootout with police chasing the suspect's car, and he escaped on foot. Police say when officers caught up with him, he shot one of them. The officer who was shot is undergoing surgery, and the suspect was shot and killed. At least 1,000 more flights are expected to be canceled today as COVID cases cause air crew shortages, and the chaos could extend through New Year's Eve. So what are your rights if airlines cancel your flights? Travel experts say you're eligible for a refund.
If your entire itinerary is canceled and you decide, hey, I'm not going to take this flight, I'm not going to take an alternative flight with this airline, you're entitled to every single penny you spent on that ticket.
Now, this also applies if you're already in transit and the second leg of your trip is canceled. Travel experts say check your flight status frequently, contact your airline, and be proactive. 96 NFL players tested positive for COVID-19 on Monday, on top of 10 positive tests over the weekend. That means 106 players have been put on the league's reserve COVID-19 list since Christmas. The NFL just announced a booster mandate for all eligible NFL league office staff. On January 12th, that mandate will extend to members of the media applying to cover the NFL playoffs and the Super Bowl. Now, the game Georgia fans have been waiting for is just days away. We're talking about the Orange Bowl, of course. UGA's football team is already in Miami. There are some new precautions to keep players and staff safe from COVID-19 ahead of the semifinal matchup with Michigan. Emily joins us from Miami to explain one of the biggest changes that affects the team and the media.
Good morning, guys. A major change we have to get used to here in Miami. The media cannot attend practices. You know, in years past, the college football playoff made it mandatory for teams to allow media inside practices for the first 15 minutes, but they made it optional, both Michigan and UGA deciding to close practice. Now, guys, I can tell you that it was completely a Georgia decision. Jim Harbaugh and Kirby Smart taking this very seriously. They told us it's because of coronavirus concerns. Now we can't tell you who is and who isn't at practice. We did shoot the footage you're watching right now. That's the most we got. And to clarify, the SEC and college football playoff doesn't require fully vaccinated players to get tested unless they're showing symptoms. Safety Louis Seen told us Monday morning the team is 98 to 99% vaccinated. The most recognizable dog on Georgia's defense, Jordan Davis, said this about the virus.
Definitely excited to be in Miami and everything, but as we all know, it's a hot spot for COVID. We just have to make sure that we protect ourselves and wear our masks and, just enjoy the moment.
Yeah, we got masks on. We trying to stay away. We trying to stay safe from this new variant out here. So for the most part, we just stand around each other in the player lounge and just chilling on our free time.
Now, Kirby did let his players go home for a few days for Christmas break, while Jim Harbaugh and the Wolverines took a very different approach. They did not go home. They actually flew into Miami on Christmas Day. We'll see if that impacts the Dogs throughout the week. We'll definitely bring you the latest on coronavirus as long as we're here. But these Dogs and Wolverines will kick off at 7:30 on Friday in the stadium behind me. Hopefully no cancellations. We'll see. Back to you.
Thanks for watching CBS 46 News. Watch us live wherever you are, our mobile and our streaming news app. You can also watch us on Roku, Apple TV, and Fire TV.